Bitcoin conference is over and we had our little dump. Now it's time for a little pump. Bitcoin crypto morning tea. Hey. Good morning, everybody. My name's pianomattyb. That is Scaramucci's. This is your morning TA. A brief glimpse into the crypto markets, where the sun's shining, where the wind's blowing. All the humble opinion of this piano. Zamboni Reagan. The data. The FOMO index has jumped up to 74 from yesterday's 71. Bitcoin dominance is 55.4%. 24-hour volume is 34 billion. The overall market cap, 2.47 trillion. Give or take 100 million. Well, the Bitcoin conference is over, and everything we dreamed of seemingly came true, though the price didn't really move all that much. Besides the robot quant bots losing their ever-loving minds, reacting to the Trump buzzwords he was dropping in his speech. But as the market digested the deep reality of presidential candidates making Bitcoin part of their platform, the price finally started to move. And after straddling our channel of ascension support line all day, we exploded up, peaking out at 69.8 and have retreated slightly back down to time of production. 69.5, placing us above all three moving averages and in the upper half of our channel of eternal monotony. Some levels of potential pushbacks on our way up to retest resistance at 71.2 would be first our channel of ascension's resistance at 70K. That's psychological little so-and-so, followed by 70.5. Now breaking this level would get the robot quant bots panties in a bunch, and we'd likely see a squeeze immediately up to our channel resistance of 71.2. Is that a data alert? Yes, it is. Seems we have some slight bearish divergence on the MACD. As price action has made higher highs while the MACD has made lower highs. She's slight, but she's there, and thus we shall stay aware. Now over on the ding-dong, you can see we did manage to get up and over our last channel of eternal monotony's resistance, which is hella bullish because we are now in our last channel before price discovery. So we'll add this level up here at 73K. Now if we zoom out, we can see we've only really carved out a series of lower highs, so it's paramount in our bullish journey to carve out and close a candle at or above 71.5. Until we see that, we will be at the mercy of diminishing returns, which is not so bullish. But if, and I say if we do that, then it's probably smooth sailing up to our old all-time high candle close of 73K. A super-duper psychological so-and-so. Quick look at the Wookiee. Sees we did by the hair of our chinny chin. Managed to close the candle green. Just barely, but we'll take it. Our third green candle in a row. which I might add we haven't seen since way back in January, if you can believe it. But as bullish as that is, this hanging cross / hammer candle has some interesting takeaways. First, it can be interpreted as weak due to the candle close and open being so close to each other, signaling a potential market stall out and or local top.
But which one's which?
Not today, kiddies. Not today. But yes, this wick is also slightly menacing due to the fact that those pesky kids are usually always right. But we have to remember that in order for confirmation on market signals, we need to wait for the next candle to close. So we won't really know whether this hanging cross hybrid is bullish or bearish until next Sunday. But that doesn't mean we can't speculate on other factors. And it's the humble opinion of this piano that there are more bullish factors in play than this dodgy candle. First off being we are back up and over the 20 moving average, which is bull run territory. We have closed our third green candle and are working on our fourth. Two presidential candidates have made Bitcoin an economic priority, which is actually insane. And I don't think the market has digested that nugget fully. And the most bullish aspect of everything is that nation-state game theory is now officially on. So if you thought the ETF prisons gobbled up a lot of Bitcoins, we're about to see every country with a brain start buying Bitcoin. And imagine that coupled with a supply shock, and you have, my friends, a God can do the likes we have never seen, only in a dream. Would you look at that, my friends? The sun's up. It's another beautiful day here on planet Earth, a day none of us are guaranteed. Yeah, we're lucky enough to have anyway, so get out there, knock 'em dead, and remember, we're playing the same game as our psychopathic elected leads. And that's right, it's the long game. So zoom out and have a fantastic day. And we'll be going live right away, so grab yourself a coffee, join me for a quick one, and by all means, sing it with me now. Around the banks of boom dash bang, Bitcoin, crypto, morning tea. Hey, roar, cha-cha-cha-ching. Back in Winnipeg. Coffee cup, a cup of coffee enjoyed around the world on a Monday morning, back in Winnipeg after the Bitcoin conference, reeling from a $70,000 rejection. We were just at 70K, at least in my Bitstamp chart. It hit 70K, back off 200, no big deal, 70K. We're pushing. I don't think that the world has digested the fact that two presidential candidates, psychopaths, don't get me wrong, psychopaths, are making Bitcoin one of their, premier things to talk about. That just goes to show how big this industry is and how big this industry is going to be. There's Misco. I got to meet some awesome people this weekend at the Bitcoin conference. Let's see. We met Misco. He was wearing the Killer Keys hat when I ran into him. We met the Wicks, of course. Wick and Wick's wife. They are exactly how they are on this stream. They're very energetic, super funny,
and high energy. They kind of light up the room, if it were. Amy Lives Crypto. Ran into her at in the conference while I was chatting with the Billy Goat Tail boys. Jimmy Jim, Retro Mike Tack, and Rich. Who else did we run into? God, am I forgetting? I am. I'm blanking right now. But it was great to. Oh yeah, Carl Elders and his dad. We ran into them. We spent the Friday night chit chatting in a hotel lobby. That's what happens when you're partying over 40 years old. Not that the Wicks are over 40. I think they said they're late 20s, early 30s, something like that. That's right. Carl Elder and his dad, the OGs. So that was fun. It was interesting. Here we're taking another run up at 70K. Will we make it over 70K this time? I think so. I think that the world is digesting how huge. It's almost too big to fathom, like 4 years ago, the last cycle, no one was talking about Bitcoin. And if they were, it was still a dirty little secret. How dare anyone use Bitcoin? It's just for criminals. It's for terrorists as they fund endless wars. And now it's a major talking point. I find that fascinating, but it's no surprise to anyone in this boutique community that would be happening, because that's just the logical path of this asset. And it's there's more to come, and it's just going to get bullish and more bullish. However, I did put a tweet out yesterday about the top. The only thing I didn't like about the Bitcoin conference was the Hawk 2 girl there. And I mean, she reminds me of when sitcoms get boring and they bring in a new kid, like in Different Strokes. Not sure you remember Different Strokes. Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. Might be right for you, may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of steel. Along comes two, got nothing but dreams. They got different strokes it takes, different strokes it takes, different strokes to do the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to do the world. That's Different Strokes. It's, your common sitcom. It's a rich white man, starts like every other sitcom, adopts two poor black kids. Where we have, it's the story of the ages, right? Takes them into Manhattan in his Upper East Side penthouse and straightens them out. We've seen this sitcom many, 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 many times. And so when it got boring, like somehow, who was Gary Coleman? Gary Coleman was something was wrong with his kidney or his liver. He never aged, something like that. I'm surprised they didn't tap that. Let's take some of his blood. Maybe if we take Gary Coleman's blood, drink it, we can stay young and never age, seemingly. But they didn't. They missed that opportunity. Turned into adrenochrome. And so when that got boring, when Gary Coleman got boring, they brought in this little kid out of nowhere. White kid. You can't have three black kids. We can't adopt three. So they brought in a white kid, and he was just annoying. And he was like it's the end of a series when they bring in a new character that's just supposed to be cute and whatever. Anyway, long story short, seeing the Hawk 2 girl, I was like, oh, this is a horrible look. And everybody kind of going goo goo gaga for her. To me, that was a top signal. Now, of course, we have 13 months left in this bull run. That's right. I'm putting a date on it. I'm putting August 2025 as the time where you would like to layer out. If you plan on taking any profits, I would say probably around April, you start layering out, and maybe by August 2025, I don't know, that could be the top. Pianomattyb, Jimmy Coco. What you talk about, Matty? Are you trying to tell me that you think that the top is going to be August 2025? Yeah, I think that. So it doesn't matter if it is or not, but my plan, my strategy is that by August 2025, whatever I am prepared to take off the table, and of course, wouldn't take everything off just in case. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But my strategy is August 2025, probably towards the end, just based on cycle patterns. That's it. And so you have to figure out your own strategy for exiting the market with some profits if that's what you want to do. Part of me doesn't want to touch anything. Part of me is too scared. I mean, what if, selling anything, especially Bitcoin, is about the riskiest thing you could ever do. And I'm not even sure I'm going to do it, actually. I might have just talked myself out of it. But anyway, I'm going to be looking at August 2nd. Hey, there's Georgie Gam Gams there. I'm going to be looking at August 2025 as my top, which my top is more of a dome, right? It's like a bell curve. I don't know if August 25 will be the 10, the top, or the 2. But otherwise, you just got to keep your mind in. If you're prepared to take any profits, that's where I'm looking to do it. Now, I wouldn't suggest anyone else doing that. You got to look at your own cycles. I'm basing this off what it usually does, right? So, you want to be a contrarian and go against it? That's hey, it could work out for everybody. Let's take a look at some of these charts. Is it going to work? Is it going to work here? Let's see if it's going to work at one press. Oh, it did. Here we are on the 4-hour chart, Georgie Gam Gams, and look at this. We have tested our channel of ascension. Now, here, did I see Sneaky Pete vaporizers? Sneaky Pete, I was going to put out issue a wellness notice on you, see if you're okay out there in BC. I noticed yesterday that they just took BC out of a state of emergency. This is going to sound ridiculous to everyone here that's American, but BC just ended. There's Sneaky Pete vaporizers. Holy smokes. Good to see you, Sneaky Pete. BC just ended the COVID emergency measure. It sounds crazy. Like it's like that Shamalama Lama again movie where they are all in this weird village and they didn't realize that the world was going on outside of them. But that's how backwards, Canada is like 12 different countries, really. I ran into someone who in the line to get into the Bitcoin conference on Saturday, was it? And he said he visited Montreal. And he's like, I couldn't believe how beautiful Canada was. I'm like, I hate to break it to you. That's why Sneaky Pete's back. It's finally back. He had hunkered down for the emergency measures. He's like, listen, I'm not going back on YouTube. I'm not listening to what anyone says until the powers that be, the elected psychopaths, tell me that this emergency is over. Until then, I'm gonna lock myself away. Obviously, Sneaky Pete's not that type of individual. What was I talking about? Yeah, the guy. He's like, I can't believe how beautiful Canada is. We went to Quebec and we went to Montreal, and it was just one of the most beautiful countries we've ever seen. Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Canada is probably the most beautiful country scenery-wise. You can get everything from the Canadian Shield, Appalachian, over to the East Coast, hilly, and the ocean. And then you have the mountains, which every time I go into the mountains, I'm like, what the hell do I live in Manitoba for? Manitoba is essentially flat. You could drive 10 hours each way, and if you fell asleep, you would probably wake up and you'd still be on your road and you hadn't veered off. But you get to Alberta and you start seeing the mountains. When the mountains come in, you really forget how beautiful they are and why. Well, why? If I'm going to live in Canada, I might as well live in the mountains. I would think. Anyway, his take, and when you go into Quebec and Montreal, it's very European. It kind of looks like you're in, I don't know, Old England. Is that the Sneaky Pete? Would help me out on this. Old England, old Paris. Not the one that's burning down, or God forbid what they're doing at the Olympics. But that old Prague, I don't know. You know what I'm getting at. It looks like that. It's not like a normal city. It's very beautiful. And that's just not what I didn't break his heart. I said, yeah, Canada is beautiful. Anyway, so this is what we don't want to see, obviously, is rejection today. There is that, there is that slight bearish divergence. We talked about the data alert. We talked about this. Price action making higher highs. MACD making slightly lower highs. It's slight. Shouldn't even really mention it, but we still got to be aware of these things, And if we get rejected, well, it wouldn't be so crazy to see us go back to our channel of Ascension support, which is down at 68.5. It's a $1,200 rejection, not the biggest. Wick 589. Matty is a tall guy. It depends. Depends who I'm standing beside. But I was speaking of tall. I was surprised to see how. Yeah, Sneaky Pete. We did have a good one. We had a great run, and maybe if things change for the States for the better, Canada will what is it when a car ghosts the other one or stays behind it? We'll just end up fishtailing behind America, and maybe things will get a little better here. Certain things have to change, obviously, but do things ever change? Is my question. That's the key thing. So the takeaway too from Trump's speech and Bobby's speech is that this is a perfect opportunity, and I think we've never been so aware of the duplicit nature of politicians and the corruption as we are now. There's an awakening of things have to change, and if they don't, well, we just might have to tear this mother effer down. I feel like that's really what's going on here. And so we've time-stamped this. The internet, is forever, so we can look back at everything they said. And if they don't do that, either way, we'll know that everything's just a lie. Same with in Canada. If the other guy gets in, Pierre, and he doesn't change everything like he said, we'll know, well, they can't really change this. I don't believe that they don't want to. I believe their intentions are true, but they get into power and they realize, oh, I'm just the puppet. I always say it's like the bar I had. We could change the manager every week. It doesn't matter what the manager wants to do. He asks the owners, hey, can I do this? No. Oh, I'd like to implement this. No. Oh, I'm going to hire this person. No. I'm going to change this. No. So that's essentially, that's what they'll do. Back to the tallness. I was surprised to see how tall some of the people that I like. So say Drew. Drew is taller than me. He's 6'5", I think. 6'5", yeah. DZ, also tall. I think DZ and I might be the same size. I'd like to say on a good day I'm 6'2". I'm probably more 6'1". But if I'm standing tall and I'm really trying to hold my breath, I might get to 6'2". So that's DZ as well. Who else was taller than I thought? Oh, Nick. Nick is 6 feet as well. There's a Misco. Misco is 6 feet or taller. That's for sure. So yeah, and Wick, Frankie is 6 something. Yeah. Well, I never when I met Frank, he was on a beanbag. It was like some sort of 60s psychedelic party. Like it was dark, and there's Frankie, and I can't remember who his name was. Someone said, "Yeah, Frankie would like to meet you before you leave." I'm like, "Oh, shit, okay, I'm just leaving. I'll go." And as I got there, I realized he was sitting on a beanbag. I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be weird because he's on a beanbag, and I'm standing." So, and there was some people talking to him. So I don't want to be the interrupter, but I had to get out of there. It was my 20 minutes at a party limit had already rung. I was like, nah, I got to get out of here. And so I went up there to Frankie on a beanbag. Hey, Frankie, just thought I'd say hi. And it was, we already were shaking hands, and so he wasn't going to stand up. And so I didn't see how tall he was. Misco, 6'1.5". That's right. So I didn't get to see how tall Frankie was, but they're all pretty tall over there at DC. Yeah. So that's a lot of tangents here, but there's a lot of talk. There's a lot to talk about after the Bitcoin conference. I mean, I tried to Terry Crow, pianomattyb, knowing that meeting someone on a beanbag is always weird. It's never not weird, right? Tell me if you've ever met someone on a beanbag. Has it been normal? Oh yeah, let's go. He's sitting on a beanbag. Okay, let's go try it. John Foster Crypto, Drew and Deezy are both great. Yeah, very nice, very nice. It was somewhat surreal for me to be, even though like I've with all around the blockchain and with Drew, we spoke so many times that you generally feel like, oh, when people say, hey, did you have you met them? And like, even though I never met them, it's like yeah, because I've talked to them so much, but to actually see them in person was another. You're a little late. Do you have that's okay. Well, it's your summer holidays, buddy, isn't it?
And I didn't have time to put on my normal clothes.
Oh, that's okay. Well, we're going to turn this on for sure. Frankie on a beanbag. Hey, Salt and the Salt. That's the next song on the album. Hold on, Duke. Frankie on a beanbag. Is he that tall? I guess I'll never know how tall Frankie is. How tall do you think Frank is, Duck?
1 inch.
1 inch. Oh, I'd say that's a little small. However, he was sitting on a beanbag. That's all. It's a cheap rhyme, tall and all, but hey, it's Monday. Well, Duke. Hey, nice. We made it to 70K. Drafting. That's right. Haas and Pfeffer drafting. Stock car racing. That's right. Canada will politically draft the American system. And so if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, well, we're drafting and it won't go well for us. We're going to keep it on their piano, Duke. So let's Duke, we're going to keep it on piano there, buddy. So who would you like to send out this song to? You can dedicate it to whoever. Oh, this is what we haven't done in a long time, Duke. Let's do the intro, and you can practice looking at the comments and saying people's names.
I'd rather do a song first.
Well, we're gonna practice this first. Do a quick one.
Can do the Jimmy Arna.
Oh no, we're just gonna go do the shout outs.
Dave Digital.
With the E minor, buddy.
Dave Digital. And Randy Abay. Sultan of Soul. Damie loves crypto. And Wick.
And Wick's wife.
And Wick's wife. And Randy Abay. Did I already say that?
That's okay.
Terry Quo and Misco and Memory Man and XRP, even a Y, Sultan of Salt, and also
And last but not least,
John Foster Crypto.
hey, look at Sneaky Pete. Sneaky Pete Vaporizers.
Sneaky Pete Vaporizers.
That's right. All right, buddy. Let's sing us out here. Let's sing us out here. Are you fronting? No. You look very cozy in your PJs. Let's do it, buddy. Let's sing them out.
We're playing the singing. There's a psychopathic collected Lilies. That's why it's so long game. Set 'em up. Now a fantastic day.
You should be an F major 7th. F major 7.
We're playing the same game in our psychopathic collected elite. That's why it's a long game. We'll have a fantastic day on the banks of Buenos Aires.
Bitcoin, crypto, morning tea.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share